the Levels Network. I'm Justin Horo, joined by the Triple OG, Willie Mason. OG.
Yes.
We got it decided, baby.
Thank God, right?
What's the feeling like? It's a weird. I don't know. We just walked back from the stadium.
It's the same as like last time we played here. I think we won, and it's just like Melbourne people. They love sport, right?
Yeah.
But they don't get when to like cheer and all that sort of shit. I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like New South Wales, pretty much game done at halftime.
Yep.
It was a real somber feeling. We're doing some stuff like after the game. I'm like, how's it feeling? Most of Queenslanders are like, we're planning for game 3.
We're sweet.
Like,
we're going back
up.
to the decider.
Oh, shut up. Imagine if we had 13 players. Maybe we would have ended it tonight.
True.
Maybe we would have.
20 to 10 at the 64-minute mark with 12 men for, what's that, 60 minutes?
Yeah.
Maybe just under 60 minutes. That was a dominant performance. They dropped off a touch in the second half. But there was also New South Wales fans that were leaving were like, that's mad. We just flogged Queensland. But shit, we still got to go to Queensland.
That's the hardest thing in rugby league is decider in Queensland. What would you wish for like, if you're a young kid?
So good.
That's it. That's exactly what happened. Like Latrell, whatever he did tonight, it's like, that's exactly what I thought he would have done. But doing it, us saying it, and then going, okay, well, we're going to rely on him to do it. And then he goes out there and performs like that. I'm like, it's a special guy.
Yeah.
That's a special man. You know what I mean? Like him, Moses, all these players will get to those guys. I'm like, wow. At the biggest stage, which is like State of Origin.
Yep.
Didn't play game 1. Comes in, everyone's like, oh, is he that dude? Blah, blah, blah. Like, he's that man.
Is that confirmed?
It
Do you need
is.
to see game 3? Do you need to see?
I never had to even see any game. Because I know what he's like.
Yeah.
He's played 9 or 10 Origins. Like, he's played 3 series. He's won every single one.
Yeah.
And dominated every single one. So I wasn't surprised when I was sitting there going, he's getting early ball. He's shaking Val Holmes. He's doing flick passes. He's doing this. He's coming out the back. He's doing he's ragdolling Walshy. That's a fucking guy I wanted to see tonight. When I said, I don't want to see you stretching someone's hamstrings. See what he did to Walshy tonight?
Picked him
it's
up.
a message, right?
Dragged him
It's
back.
A big message. Big message.
What about when he even just pushed him? It was just a typical Origin push, maybe 3 seconds late after Walshy knocked it over. And he just had his presence all over
But
him.
he has that presence, right? And he's the OG out there, especially in the Indigenous game.
Yeah.
The Indigenous brothers. They look at him like he's that dude. Like they look at like we looked at GI.
I think even the Islander boys and that look at him like
they
that.
love him, mate.
Yeah.
They love him. Yeah. So that all goes off his energy. He's like, and he knew that. You know what I mean? When you got a whole team behind you backing you got a whole state behind you backing you. I can't wait till game 3.
What about the man of the match, Mitch Moses? That's 3 games now. Plays half a game with a broken back in his first ever. And that was a dead rubber. They were on the back end of that. Results didn't. Yeah. Queensland were desperate, but he was tough. Then last year he plays in another dead rubber. So this is the first opportunity.
Hard to get up for.
This is the first opportunity he's got to play in a meaningful game. And fuck, he delivered 4 try assists. He had man of the match wrapped up for me in the first 25 minutes.
It would have been between him. I think Angus Crichton was outstanding.
Yeah.
Really aggressive. Liam Martin was outstanding. Payne Haas was outstanding in the middle. But like he was the orchestrator. Like he did everything. We had like really good seats and we were looking at it like it was Eagle Cam. And I was like, wow. He played him exactly how he wanted to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like little short balls. He's going out the back here and there, like just testing their inside shoulders. And then he pulled the trigger like all the time. The right kick, the right pass, made his tackles. You know what I mean? Like they respect
the 2 tackles
Moses.
on Tommy did and turnovers when they finally got some good ball. Huge. And I thought the first one I was like, all right, Mitch has got it. It's done. And then they were slow in the second half. Yeah. And then once he done it the second time, I went, that's it. It's his award. He's got man.
It was awesome.
Match.
And I had questions over Moses for age because he played a game 3 last year, which wasn't like it was already done.
Yeah.
So there's no pressure on Queensland. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And
there's no pressure on New South Wales.
First one he did a Mike Tyson, he broke his back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, well, I'll pay that.
Yeah.
But no one knew at that time.
Yeah.
And that's fucking tough. When we talk about it now, we're like, that's a little tough motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
And then tonight, game 2, getting bought in, having 8 weeks off during the year, everyone thinking this year, like he was the guy coming in.
Yep.
Nico maybe could have been the 14 or something like that. If they had
Nath was my 7 and Mitch was my 6 from when we started doing the rolling teams.
Yeah.
Even when he was injured, because I was thinking he was going to be back before game 1. But what about that performance straight after getting back? That pretty much
That's what I
cemented
mean.
it.
Like he's played like 3 games. They put him in. Played really good, like in sections of games.
Yeah.
And I said, like we said it on the podcast last week, I don't expect him to win all these games, but he puts these guys in position.
Yeah, you did.
Positions to make the plays. He can't make you catch the ball. He can't make you do all these things, but he's going to put you in position because he's got a great kicking game. His energy is awesome. His defense is great. That's all you want. And then when you play with the best players like tonight,
They had the class.
that's exactly right. He's got the class to go boom, boom, boom. Latrell, like do your thing. Right palm, little flick. All these sort of things where that's what happens in Origin. When you play with the best players, just orchestrate like a great half that he is, and then let the big dogs do it.
I had a chat to some past players, New South Wales, some greats, some current players. I won't name who they are. I'll name that you were very critical of the long kicking game. I was up there in the calling the game for SEN. His long kicking game is even better than what because I haven't seen Mitch play live in a long time. They float.
Yeah.
His long, you know how Matt Burton does the Burton Bombers and they float in the air? When he kicks long, they float. Like it feels like when you hit in golf,
It's got 4 or 5 second hang time.
when you hit a nice draw or you watch a really good pro hit, sometimes I've played with pros before at clubs, they hit the ball and it goes like that and it kicks again. The ball in the air kicks again at the last minute. Murray Taulagi and Xavier Coates, I reckon maybe 3 or 4 occasions, caught it 3 metres out from their own goal
Fucking
line.
outstanding. He was outstanding.
So good.
When you break his game down, when you're watching it live like us, like you're mainly watching the middle. You know, I'm watching Payne Haas do his thing. I'm watching Robson. I'm watching Yowie. Cam Murray was outstanding.
Cam Murray's really good.
I think he played a big time in that game. Did he play like 70 minutes?
Well, it felt like, he had a spell. I seen him on the sideline for about maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Another big one, and we'll get to that a little bit later, some of the negatives as well. Jakey plays the first 15, 20 minutes, and then he's a skipper.
As I said before,
he doesn't get back on to the last.
I think that was Madge's way of getting Teddy out, just softening the blow. All right, Jake, you're captain, because that was the first thing let out, right?
Yep.
Jake Trbojevic is captain, because you can't and everyone could just fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Well, Teddy's gone, and then Edwards, outstanding.
All the new guys.
Everything
all
that we fucking thought, right?
In saying that, was there a bad player for the blue that wore a Blues jersey?
Not really. I mean, the guys off the bench just did their job. Olakawatu, Watson come on, like Yowie. What else can you do? You just, when it's 34-0 or when it's 20-0 or when, you know what I mean? Like you just go on and you continue the momentum, right?
Yep.
And you make your tackles, you complete your sets and just get to that sort of stuff. It's hard to play bad.
Yeah, there was some really good performances. Stephen Crichton, Zach Lomax.
Yeah. Why do you think Queensland performed so bad?
It's Latrell.
It's
Like
got
I
that
honestly believe he's like watching him live, and there are so many good performances around. But just say, let's give the Brian Toto first try as an example, right? So to begin with, they were trying to get him some ball. What they were doing is Latrell was getting out of the back of Angus Crichton, and people think I'm like a Latrell. I go over the top of Latrell, but like it's for a reason, and it like the average person doesn't see it because the average person hasn't. Average person, that's probably a bad description, but punters who haven't played the game don't know the stress that certain X factor players put on you. So it's very similar to GI. When someone else might have some shape that works around you, it's because you can't help but focus by having a player like that. So what Murray Taulagi did wrong on the Toto try was he's either got to do 2 things. One, wedge on Latrell early on that face ball, or second, just show faith in Val making that tackle. He did neither. And that's what big game players do. They stress out. Greggy used to do it all the time for Queensland. Yeah. That's why Darius Boyd's feels like he scored so many tries for Origin, and he retired so many wingers because it's just the stress that he continues to put on.
He does. He's that guy. Like he just sits out there and all his touches were quality. You know what I mean? It was like he's either his first hit up, bang, straight at Lindsay Collins.
He only had 9 carries for 86 metres.
Lindsay didn't put him on his back. You're a front rower. It's like GI used to do to us. Like, bang, pick at your biggest guy and I'm going to find my front.
Yeah.
So that mentally to most of the other middles go, we're all finding our front. If that's a centre, find his front against their biggest guy. It's like you just think everyone's going to do it. And he like gives everybody like confidence.
Because the next carry comes after.
Because he finds his front, everyone just gets off that.
Yep.
It's like, he was outstanding. People don't understand because they'll probably look at his stats and go, yeah, he played pretty good. Yeah. If Moses didn't pull the trigger 4 times, he's getting man of the match.
He's close. He's thereabouts. Angus is
top
another one.
form.
You said Angus was thereabouts. I agree with that. Zach Lomax was outstanding as well. There wasn't a bad play for the Blues. Speaking of GI, I want to thank everyone who turned up to the Olympic Hotel and come and supported us last night.
Outstanding.
And also everyone from the Olympic Hotel. We got to chat to GI. That was a really special moment for me. Because I haven't had much to do with GI as well, like I said on the potty before. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, followed us on Instagram, followed us on TikTok, and leaves us a reviews. It all helps, and we get so many people that have come up to us before and after the game. All right, just got a few things just off the back of the show, and we'll get back into Origin as well. Just want to just get your initial thoughts straight away. This one's from Daniel Robinson off the back of the Mitchy Pearce episode. Best episode ever, boys. Absolutely outstanding insight from yourself and Mitchell. Specifically, the arrogance. What was his healthy arrogance?
Very healthy.
Very healthy arrogance for Mitch Moses. I think he nailed that. Credit to the show and your interview style for getting all that on tape. Felt like I was a fly on the wall at the coffee shop while you boys were having an honest chat about Origin. If Mitchell comes back before Game 3, would love to hear about the 2019 series win after so many tough losses for him. But we're definitely going to get Piercy back. This one's from Filth. Bring Piercy back. I love listening to the mind of a playmakers and how they perceive play to the game. I like listening to the greats like Johns and Cronk and what they need to do to change the momentum of the games and how they're thinking of their forwards.
And I agree totally. Like hearing Piercy, even myself, I'm like, his mind has always been up there with one of the greats, right? His mindset and how he thinks about the game. Like when he's talking about manipulating the line and all that sort of stuff, I'm like, that's a different sort of cat, right? I'm like, I played in the middle. I understand the game. Different mentality.
It refreshed it for us,
Different
didn't it?
mentality. I'm like, my whole game was like predicated on just like strength, power, fast, all that sort of shit, explosive. He's sitting there going, how can I expose this defense? You know, off this run, off this. Where's my moment? I'm like, yeah, it's priceless what Piercy did.
Yep. Hey, this one's from Barry Matthews. I only just got one because it's going to be more Origin focused straight after this as well. Hey, lads, just wondering if you had any insight into why Radley's moved to right side second row. Do you think it's a defensive thought to protect Sammy Walker or an offensive move to use White at lock to straighten up attack as Radley can tend to play more? We had a chat about this last year. I think you brought it up about too many ball players and moving Radley to the edge is so the playmakers get the ball in their hands. Robbo said that in the presser after the Bulldogs game. He said that we just want to get Sam Walker hands on the ball as much as we can. And again, the defensive part of it as well, looking after Sammy is really important.
Don't sleep on that. Him
Big
being your right full.
Tony Carroll for Darren Lockyer.
100%.
Yeah.
Like that left side back row, I was going, oh, that's Victor Radley. He's going to smack the shit out of my ribs. So if you're going to get Sam Walker's job is just to hold him up, grab the ball so he doesn't get an offload. Victor Radley's going to clean up the mess.
Yeah.
And I think people slept on Vic, how good of a ball runner he is. He's a great ball player, but he can hit a line, right? He goes hard. And I think it's probably giving him a little bit of a rest, right? It's a little bit different from being in that washing machine in the middle. He's been doing that for 6 years in the middle. On the edge is a little, when they say, I'm not saying rest, you know what I mean? But it's a little bit different. You're not in the middle that whole time, copping those hits left, right, all that kind of stuff from every sort of angle. Now he knows where he is all the time. You know what I mean? Like he's right for, like, you know, you've played right before, and I've done it as well. Like, yeah, it's a bit different. He understands how the middle should move. That's very important, right? The movements from the middles, calling numbers out, all that kind of stuff. So he understands because he's played middle for like 5 or 6 years. And he's one of the best at it.
You're right. Once you learn to play middle, you play edge, and
it's
you
a lot
swap,
different. So if you
learn how to.
Yeah, if you've got a middle guy who can go and defend on the edge, you change your game. You change your game because like you understand movements and people in tackles and this and that, counting numbers, where you are on the field, all these little things that go through here because he's got a little bit of time. He's got more than 1 or 2 seconds. That's a lot. When you're in the middle, you're just like, fuck. bit different.
Do you reckon he just missed out on 1 year by the changing of the game and how the move, like
Suspensions and injuries.
he would have been playing
He
Origin
should be
right
playing.
now.
I was big fan of his always,
Yeah.
and I thought he should have played Origin in 2018, 19 when he was really young,
Yeah.
and he was just like that next guy up.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to give him
You just got to play.
give him the Blues jersey,
Yeah.
so he stays here.
He wouldn't have played for England. No way.
Never.
Or you
ever.
think? Oh, it's
Never
a
ever.
hard thing to
He would have
say.
played for Australia by now.
All right, mate. I got wrote down my notes. These are just basically the tries. So to kick off the game, we'll go through the tries and see what your thoughts on it. What I sort of wrote down. So 2 sets again after a little bit of back and forth to begin with. You got to remember, Jaden Sewell went clean through on the left edge straight off the bat. There were a couple of Reece Walsh was looming up on the left, couldn't quite get to him, and then Reece Walsh comes down the short side. Not long after that, finds Murray Talangi, kicks the ball on the inside, and there were 4 Maroons jumpers. Dylan Edwards was by himself, and it bounced dead. And I just said straight away, feels like I've got a
it's coming our
feeling
way.
New South Wales are going to get the bounce of the ball. Like it just felt like that. And,
Yeah, and we had the 3 sets in a row.
yep.
Ding, 6 again. Ding, 6 again. Ding, 6 again. And they had to defend nearly every tackle.
Yep.
And that took a lot of gas out of them very early. I was like, shit.
And then we find the Liam Martin try. So they have some nice shape. They tack the left. They sort of wasn't happening. Val Holmes and Ches were getting up nice and early. But I want you to talk me through, and I think we all agree with me.
We had a different view, right? So you're sitting side on.
Yep.
We were sitting behind.
Yep.
And we were just going across field too much. Even in those 3 sets of 6 to go across field, until Liam Martin just went bang.
That was going to be my next question.
like-
Were you behind Liam Martin when he was running things?
Yes.
So talk me through that line, because that was a last minute.
Because we like Payne Haas was going across field.
Yep.
Everybody, even Crichton, Angus Crichton, they run these little out balls, right? All the time. Like they find their front, whatever. But like to straighten the whole game up and to test inside shoulders is what? Outside in line. So Liam Martin would have been seeing this for about, I think, 12, 13 minutes. And then bang. Just he caught him. He caught him. Because I think Queensland subconsciously would have been going, they're just going overs.
Sliding.
And then Liam Martin, I'm like, I was calling for the whole thing. I was like, inside shoulders. It wasn't going to be on Dearden or anything like that, but like I could see the whole like defensive system just keep going sideways like that. Like Queensland, I'm like, inside shoulder, and then bang, caught Dearden slipping.
Do you agree with me? It was an instinctual line. Like it wasn't a line that he was dead set on running. He just felt the slide and then
Because they were sliding so much.
stepped on the run.
They were sliding so much
Stepped on the pass.
because of
Yeah.
the fact that because they had like 3 sets of 6 and the movements were just like that.
Yeah.
Sideways. So when you're doing that for like 6 sets, you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
And then bang, you get done.
got caught slipping.
And he got caught.
Second try, Brian Toto goes after a beautiful flick pass from Latrell. They were doing block shape there to begin with. Then they had a little variation because Coates and, or was it Coates or Taolangi? It was Taolangi on the right. Because they kept on wedging, Val and Taolangi, they changed the shape from block shape to face to face shape. And
then
that way, Taolangi wasn't make a strong decision. Trell's too strong. Taolangi shits himself. Toto goes over and touched.
And they're those little half a second like moments. You're like, oh, I've got to come in. When you come in, you got to stop the play.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like Latrell is so good at that. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't do that in club football because he doesn't get that position because he's fullback. He's the guy coming around the back all the time, got to go short or go long. Will you get him in that position like that? No one's used to that shape.
No.
Early ball to Trell, and he's gonna shake you or manhandle you.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like show you that they don't see that sort of. They don't see the early ball to Trell.
There's no one in the comp can do it now like Latrell can do because
No
he's
one.
the best left centre, but he plays fullback. So no,
So
Murray
you're
wouldn't have
see- so
seen
you're
that
se-
at club
so you're
level.
seeing Trell 8 meters back all the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I gotta. Am I coming in? Am I coming out? You know what I mean? Like you there's the decision that you got to make.
Yeah.
You're not looking at him when he's in your face.
Yeah.
It's a bit different. And he's a big man. He's very intimidating. And when he's like that, he was on a bit of a tear like tonight, you got to fucking account for that.
I was trying to think of anyone that's close. You've got Selwyn, but Selwyn doesn't have the left flick. He's a bump and then pass sort of guy. So even he can't mimic what Latrell can do.
No one does what Trell does. No one in the game.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do that. Val Holmes is one of the best defensive centers in the game.
Yeah.
One-on-one. Imagine, just say if
Latrell
just
made
say
Val look like Gags did a couple of years ago.
Imagine if Taulagi holds his space on the wing to Toto. Does he beat Val Holmes?
Probably.
Cole?
Probably.
So what's worse?
Yeah.
What's worse for you? Getting beat 1-on-1 or him coming in? Like, what the fuck do you do?
Yeah. Taulagi probably saved what would have looked bad for Val. So it ends up being Taulagi's mistake, but who knows? It was probably going to be Val missed tackle.
Because that's the difference, right? When you're wing and centre, like you're trying to look after like your centre. If he would have made that judgment. You're talking about the best players in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
He can make that judgment. I'm happy with any winger making that judgment call going, I need to save that. Because he knows that he's getting beat.
Yeah.
But you've got to either hit the ball down, stop the play.
Here's one for you. If Stephen Crichton is Latrell, does Murray Taulagi come in or does he hold out?
I think he holds out.
I think he holds out too.
Because of that. I mean, I played against these centres, man. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's a bad day. It's a bad day when a guy like that's on.
All right, third, that was the third try. Broken play, hits the deck. Jerome Luai finds Mitch Moses, settles himself, pinpoint kick, and it was almost 105 minutes into his Origin career. I went, Zach Lomax is an Origin player.
How easy does he make that?
He's making it look pretty easy, mate.
He's against Coates, who is what? One of the best players under the high ball. And he's like climbing on his back.
Oh, we've been making a mistake the whole time. Coates was on the right. Was he?
No.
Can you have a look?
Coates was left.
He was
Coates was left.
So did he jump over Coates, did he?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes
game
that even
one,
more.
Game two,
Yeah.
he still got it. Like
Yeah.
it is, it's borderline embarrassing for a guy like Coates, who's one of the best in the game.
Yeah. Have a look at the replays on the tries too, Lucky, just to
100%
confirm it
Coates.
for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
bad.
crazy. That
It's
makes
bad.
it even more so.
Yeah.
It is Tuolangi. Coates is the one that panics on the right then. Yeah, Taulagi. Because I remember him jumping over Taulagi. So everyone who was just watching the last bit, you've got to this point, we stuffed up. It's Coates the one that panicked and should have had more faith in Val. Then Moses
getting jumped over as well. Like Taulagi, unreal in the
yeah, he's good, really good as
game.
well.
Like him and Coates, I'm like,
Really good.
he's good, man.
The next play, there's a stoppage for I don't know what reason. Ashley Klein let Jerome Luai put on his boot for 45 seconds. Then everyone's expecting we're going to go straight back to Zach Lomax. At the very last minute, Mitch Moses sweeps, puts in a nice kick. I thought Latrell was going to go for a try. He ends up getting one the next try, but Brian Toto goes over for number 2. And at that point, I was like, this could be Mitch Moses' night.
That left, their right edge, our left. Like I think I was talking to Joey Johns, the great Joey Johns. Like we were both talking about DCE has never been under that much heat for like games. You know what I mean? Because he shuts everything down. And I talked about this last time. Like we need to put heat on DCE. Right, run different plays, different kicks, different shape, all that sort of stuff. Like, because he's such a good defensive player, but he comes out of the line really quick, right?
Yeah.
So these other centers and the wingers don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
So
It
they either
spooks him
drop
back in.
Yeah, because he's so hell bent on getting Luai to cut back inside.
Yeah.
Like you had to have a plan B with Luai and Moses as well, and they did.
Angus Crichton and Payne Haas,
they
absolutely terrorised him all night.
and they had to because like DC's like he's 35.
You have to.
You got to
and he's
go
their best
at him.
ball player.
You
You've got to go after
at him.
him.
You've got to go at him. So I'm glad that they did that. You know what I mean? Like he's such a good defensive player because he scares you into going back inside. Like Luai does that and it kills me sometimes, right?
Ches made 29 tackles, 4 misses, 3 ineffective. So they made sure. Val Holmes, 27, 6 misses. And then Jeremiah Nanai, 46. So,
do you know how much that is, man, for
a
center? No, center, 27 tackles.
27,
That's ridiculous.
Jeremiah Nanai had 32 tackles at halftime.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, and he's the edge back row and not a middle. So, we were in the commentary like,
I didn't even know he was playing. I'm like, him and Taulagi, I'm like, they haven't even touched a ball. It's like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, he had 2 carries and 32 tackles.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Not bad stats. I'm like, it's bad for him.
That's the way the game...
because that's the way the game goes sometimes, and you want to put pressure on the guys like that.
Yeah.
You want to go, you don't even know that they're playing when they're the best players. Like Taulagi and like Nano, I'm like, Nano's a gun.
He's
but
gun.
Some games like this, where we're dominating the middle.
Yep.
Like, what do you do as a back row?
You wear Daly down. He has to think he has to make those tackles.
You've got to make your tackles.
For sure. Then Angus Crichton, like I said, he just destroyed in and around Chez's inside and outside shoulder the whole time, gets an offload, pushes through. Dylan Edwards finally gets himself into the game. He was sort of just a bit of a passenger off the back of the Blues. Really good start. Finds Latrell. Latrell gets his first try, kicks in the stands, and that was pretty much game. Like, there wasn't much. There was no way. 28-0, they weren't coming back from that.
At 18 or 20-0 or 22-0, when did you call it? When did you call game?
That try, Latrell try.
Same.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's done.
Yeah.
20-0, still not confident.
Nah.
22-0, all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, just give us one more.
Yeah. Just because no one in Queensland was doing anything good. And I was like, there has to swing at some point. And I thought Ash Klein tried to force it a little bit with a couple of really soft offside penalties. And I was like, he's trying to get him back into the game here. And even when Stephen Crichton takes that intercept, he gets tackled by Chez again. And then I was like, if they can hang in here, but it's still all but gun.
Did you want to look? I mean, I know you're very diplomatic on it. You don't really go for like Queensland or New South Wales. Like, do you look at it and go, fuck, I wish it was a better game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you called the game for SEN, and I'm like, I'm sitting there watching going, fuck. Like, I want to see a great Origin, but I'm happy as hell for us. Of course. I know I'm just speaking like broadly, like the game was, As a fan, I'm looking at it as a fan. I want to see a great game. And then I'm like, I don't want to see a great game if I'm New South Wales. I want to put it to bed at half time. Or it's 28-0, it's 34-0, it's done.
Do you think Melbourne was a factor too? The fact that it was in Melbourne and they sort of like we're trying to showcase the game when we do take it to Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, whatever it may be, and it's a blowout. And it's like Melbourne fans, if they're neutral, would have been there going, New South Wales, this is mad. Like, the energy was still good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, 90,000, man.
90,000.
That's even at the MCG.
Yeah.
Well done, Melbourne.
And then Crichton ends up finishing off with a nice flick pass to Lomax. He gets a double eventually as well. And then I thought this was big to start the second half. Coates is held up with, again, did you see Coates being held up and dragged back by Latrell?
Yeah.
Dylan Edwards was outstanding. He gets his body in the front, takes the lick, and then Latrell just picks up Xavier Coates, who's 105
kilo. I'm thinking 105, yeah.
6'5". Latrell makes the other big players or big rugby league players look small. Like the way he picked up Walshy, the way he picked up Xavier Coates.
It's embarrassing sometimes.
And then Nanai ends up scoring a set later off a nice little out ball because then they started to get some shape. I'm like, there we go. Jeremiah Nanai's in the game.
Yeah. What a performance. I'm looking at that going, has there ever been an Origin where New South Wales has been more in front, 34-0? Is that the biggest deficit in Origin history?
At halftime. So
how the fuck do you come back from that? You're talking about, just say you're playing for Para or the Eagles or whatever. 34-0. What do you say at halftime?
Yeah.
What do you say? What does Billy say? What do you reckon he said?
What would you? Well, now flip side to Madge. Like, what would you have said? Because that would have been a tougher conversation for me for Madge because he'd be like,
keep the fucking the foot's on the throat. You got to end it. Complete your sets. Don't give him any chances. That's all he would have been saying. Don't give him any chances. Complete your sets. And you should like score off things. It wouldn't have been that much. You're not saying that much at halftime. You're not giving inspirational speeches. You probably would have been in there and just listen to them. You're like, see what the senior players are talking about. Let them talk and then sit back, bang. Give them massive raps and then that's it. Continue what you're doing.
We'll talk about players' legacies for sure, but what will Madge's legacy be like, right? If he's able to pull this off as well. So he goes to a struggling South Sydney team. They had got talent but can't, in and out of the eight or struggle to make the eight. Then they go a couple of years and win a competition.
When's the last time they won a final? Grand final?
South Sydney. There
60s?
You go. Yep.
50s?
Yeah. So they were a losing club for a long time. He gets the competition. Obviously the Tigers didn't go well, but history says the Tigers haven't gone well for a while. Yeah. Even Ivan Cleary couldn't get the Tigers going. So that says a lot about the Tigers. But then the Kiwis get hammered in the semi-final last year and he finds a way to get them up for that final and absolutely destroy Australia. Now, he's done that already in 2 games. Big loss into a big victory. If he wins game 3...
it's going to be up there.
Madge is going to be... He could be looking at being New South Wales coach for a long time.
I think so as well. I think he's picked up... I mean... Game 1, everyone wasn't really sold on his team. I don't think everyone, because no one was really sold
It wasn't his team.
Yeah, because no one was really sold on Nico Hines and all these other guys. And, like Teddy come in there. It was like, it's very disrupting.
Yeah.
When Edwards does his quad 3 days out, I'm like, fucking hell. Of course, you're going to be positive. And, we'll be fine. Teddy's the captain, this and that, like blah, blah, blah. But that their whole game plan just went out the window.
Yeah.
Your whole game plan. I think you saw the real New South Wales side tonight.
Yeah, you could argue that only only one of the decisions that he clearly didn't make because it was form or he wasn't his style of play was Latrell. He would have had Dylan Edwards in, obviously. He's shown that he probably would have had Mitch Moses in if he played before. Cam Murray probably would have been his skipper.
McInnes would have been in the 20, but I don't think he would have been in
Cam
the
Murray would have
17.
been his skipper if he was fit, I reckon, over Jakey to begin with. And the other one is one more, Connor Watson. We'd all heard that Connor Watson was going to be part of their team.
Yeah.
So Madge has got the team that he wanted. He probably would have liked to have had the choice of both Nathan Cleary and Tom Trbojevic, but that wasn't to be the case. That's interesting now. Turbo?
You're not picking anyone.
No.
No, Cleary or Turbo. I don't...
That's huge, mate. Like, I agree with you. I agree with you.
I think people are sold on the whole, still looking back on in 2021.
Yeah.
It's 3 years ago. Like, things happen, right?
Yeah.
I think Turbo needs to, just get through the year with Manly. We can't rush him in there like that. The fuck says that he wants to play anyway? If he plays one game and they throw him into Origin when his hamstrings are 80%. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's like... And of course he's never going to say no. Of course Cleary's never going to say no.
What if he blitzes it the next 2 weeks? So apparently he's going to be back this week. What if he just... No. He looks like the normal Turbo. You think back to that 2021 series, how good did Latrell look?
He's the king. But do you,
who do you
put
move?
Him in front of Crichton?
No.
Crichton's defence is outstanding. His running was devastating. He set the standard really early when he ran over Hammer. Did some real crucial things, but his defence was outstanding. Got a few reads wrong at the first when Sil went through and we saw that. I saw that and I was like, ooh, that's a clean line break. No one was within a metre of him, right?
The gap was about 5 metres.
It was too big. I'm like, wow, if they had pulled the trigger early and consolidated on a couple of those line breaks, we're having a whole different conversation right now.
Yeah. Queensland. How do they bounce back for game 3? Do you reckon they regretted not having Selwyn Cobbo on the bench when Hammer went off for that 15, 20 minutes?
I don't think so. Everyone's like, oh, where's Cobbo now? I was yelling it as well. I think I was the only one. I was like, okay, well, it's not a big deal, right? I don't think it was that big a deal because
you definitely weren't the only one too, by the way.
I started the champ up. I'm pretty sure I did. But you got to fall on your own sword, right?
Yeah.
He made a genius call in game 1. A genius call. Who would have thought Sully's getting sent off and your best player, Reece Walsh, is going to get knocked out in the first 8 minutes? You know what I mean? So he made the call with Capewell. He knows Capewell can make some moves. He can play in the centres. He can play back row, all that sort of stuff. Move some other pieces around. You know what I mean? I don't think it would have been a big difference.
Didn't heavily get targeted, but you know what it's like, right? If you got a player that's out of position, subconsciously you favour, you think about it. You're like, you might take an inside shoulder because you're focused on getting out. You don't want Stephen Crichton to get one-on-one with Kurt Capewell.
What do you think about Reece Walsh's performance? Do you think he was a little bit rattled from game 1? He hasn't played since game 1, right? And he got absolutely hammered. Getting your eyes put back in the back of your head and doing that with your hands, and that's a proper knockout.
That's a good question.
You don't look at that game tonight and say that guy's 100%.
Yeah, that's fair.
He was very sheepish.
Hesitant. Hesitant's a good
very
word.
Sheepish, hesitant, not going balls out. Right? I'm like, that's a kid who's been knocked out, and you think he's fine, right? Oh yeah, he's fine. He's had a fucking 2 weeks off. He got heavily fucking hit.
Yeah.
There's
got to be an effect for that, sure.
There is, and that's the effect.
Yeah.
That's the effect, watching him tonight.
He's a close watch then for the next couple of games. A really close watch. They've got the Warriors on Saturday. I hope he plays. I feel like he needs to play if this
They'll
is the
all play.
case.
Every single Queenslander will play this week.
Yeah.
Because I'll be so disappointed in their performance. And I think he needs to get that confidence back. He's a confidence player. Tonight, I saw a little kid out there against some men. Like with Latrell, like doing that shit to him. And I'm like, that's demeaning. You know, like that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not... Like, I'd get up and nearly start a fight because I'm like, that's not good.
The Latrell manhandle where he picked him up and threw him on the ground. And then it was like, for a split second, Latrell thought, am I going to hit him here? Am I going to drop my weight?
And he did.
And he paused and went, yeah, you're getting it. You're getting it. And I thought, like, again, that's the...
That's the Latrell we wanted, right?
That's the Latrell I want.
We said that a couple of weeks ago. That's the Latrell I want. I don't want you, like, laughing at all these... Because Origin is a different level. You need to have that rule. Hatred for like Queensland.
Yeah.
Course your brothers when you're off the field. He's like that. But like when you're on the field, guys like Walsh, guys like Hammer, all these guys that you're going against, you need to be that alpha. Yeah. And he was.
Yeah, he was. Tommy did and didn't have his best game. Couple of errors. He got rushed that entire time. They put some real pressure on him. His strength is... Ches had some nice moments again, but defensively they got a lot of joy in and around him for sure. Ruben Cotter, I thought, was probably the best.
He was the best Queenslander out there.
He just
him
kept
and
on trying.
Carrigan went hard.
Carrigan was trying his backside off.
I don't know
well.
what he was off the field for a while.
Carrigan got 10 in the bin, yeah. So he still had 16 carries for 140 metres.
That's great stats.
Rubes had 11 for 98, considering they had no ball. Actually, I'll get their team stats up because I thought that was really crucial as well. Check this out. Oh, geez, that got better by the end of the game.
Ben Hunt. What about Ben Hunt?
Ben Hunt.
He started the game. Like, you wouldn't even realise. And then Harry Grant comes on.
Yeah, they quickly got Harry Grant on because that wasn't working. Then they brought Benny Hunt back on. That still didn't work.
That wasn't working.
At one point, I think it was about the 60-minute mark or 55th minute mark or whatever. No, sorry, it might have been half time. They had like 900 run meters to Queensland's 500.
What?
Yeah. That was the difference. That was a huge difference. So, again, some of these players, Paddy Carrigan for Queensland, kept on trying his backside off. Who else? Mo Fodawaker, I thought, had a real impact off the bench. But, like, you look at the tackles, 46 for Jeremiah Nanai, 37 for Paddy Carrigan, 39 for Ruben Cotter. So... Anything else you want to address from that? Or are you just happy to now go back and soak it in and we can get to... Oh, the sin bins, yeah. The sin bin... there was nothing.
What was it for? I think it was in the toilet.
It was push and shove, so... who got hit? Who got hit? Someone got hit. Oh, no. So when Cherry got grappled... No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got grappled and then there was... Yeah, it was. When Cherry got grappled... by Stephen Crichton. In your head? No, and then something happened a little bit after as well.
Who got sent by?
Liam Martin and Paddy Carrigan. And there was...
Stupid. Like, you got to send them for 10 if they've, like, thrown some real dangerous shit. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it when they're coming in, like, third man in and this and that. Like, they didn't escalate anything. No one threw a punch. Just fucking get back in your positions, kick the ball out. Someone gets a penalty and done.
Do you think
don't fucking send people off.
Do you think he just does it because it's like...
it's a power thing.
It's a power thing and he creates order straight away. And if you're going to send one, you've got to send both. And then that way it just calms everyone down.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, under-19s was good. And that was really good communication from that under-19s ref as well.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. I think that's it for the most part, mate. We covered a lot of it. There'll be more breakdown, and I'm interested to see what the fallout.
Live, we're looking at this live, right? It's different when we go home tomorrow and we watch the game fully on TV, and you can sort of break it down a little bit more. But I don't think we're far off.
Yeah,
I don't think we're far off. I was thinking.
I'm interested to see what our feedback is. Let us know in the comments how you feel about the game. Are you confident if you're New South Wales? Are you concerned if you're Queensland?
Are you concerned if you're Queensland right now? It's right now.
Yes.
Why?
Because that was dominant. And I think the only reason they got close in the second half is because New South Wales relaxed. Yeah. That was it. It was
they started playing footy.
They'd already done enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they just, we keep going back to the big fella, but his movements in the second half, he was rats. To be honest, like he played one half of footy, got the job done, and he kicked the feet up.
Kick back.
And
that's bad.
Yeah.
That's Origin. Like
Yeah.
this is an Origin game where players are like, it's game over.
But that's why I think it's scary because I felt like they could have kept on going. You know what I mean?
Could
So
have been like 52.
I don't think that's a negative necessarily on the trial. You probably see it that way because you're like, fuck, finish them off.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, man, they still had some left in the tank.
I get it. Like I get it why like some teams you're not really going. The foot's on the throat, right? And you know you've already won 34-0 halftime. You know it's going to be ridiculous.
Mentally, it's hard not to.
Yeah. So they're going to get these little plays, right? When Nanai scored and all this sort of stuff, they end up coming back a little bit. There was never any danger. And then Edwards scored.
I'll tell you one player actually.
He iced it.
I'll tell you one player who come on, had a stint. They had some joy down the left edge. Olakuatu. He got hooked after the second try down there. I think he's one player.
Would you change this whole lineup?
That's a question for you.
I don't.
Yeah.
Simple fact, because he's a part of the 17, right? For 2 games, he's been.
He come on at the worst time as well, but
when
because it happened
comeback,
down
right?
that edge, yeah.
And they shouldn't. I don't agree with Madge's decision there. Don't take him off.
Yeah, leave him out there. Let him get his confidence.
Let him rectify that decision because he's probably the only person in that New South Wales team who's going, fuck, I might be able to play it at Suncorp.
Yeah.
Because of that. Because when you get, like that's not good for your confidence, right? Even though maybe people go, oh, maybe we're just making a change, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a change.
It wasn't a change.
Because he's been out there for 10 minutes.
Molly had 19 minutes, 2 carries for 19 metres, 6 tackles, no misses, but both tries were down that edge off quick play of the ball. So I need to watch it back to see if he was involved in it all. Again, I'm the same as you. I'd be keeping Molly. I think Molly was ready last year, but I'm just looking at what happened in that situation, and I know what coaches are like, and I'm like, if they've got any indecision, and Connor Watson is another one. I don't think Connor was going to potentially get on if Queensland kept on until the last Zach Lomax try, the Dylan Edwards try. I could see a world in which Connor Watson wasn't going to get on the field if they kept on going on a run because you couldn't bring him on.
It'd be hard being a coach right in that situation.
Yeah, big time.
We're killing it. Why do I have to make this change? Just because? Do I have to make a change just because? If your starters have got this momentum and they're just rolling with it, they're feeling it, do you not just let it play out? Do you know what I mean?
It would have been a genuine decision.
I think they would have got to 70 minutes, New South Wales, without a change, like a real crucial change, without a Connor Watson change, without a fucking Olakuatu.
Yeah.
Because those guys are fit as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes the coach needs to go, okay, we're losing momentum, or do I have to put this guy on because fucking hell?
They weren't tired. All the starters were killing it. Cam Murray was killing it.
When you get these, like, just say, when the game is boom, 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 like most Origins are, but when you score like a try first, 10 minutes is first, like the first half, So the first 10 minutes was like back and forth.
Yep.
And then New South Wales scored a try and
dominated for half an hour.
And then every 3 minutes, try. So you're getting like 2 minutes off, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes off.
Yeah.
Your middles are fresh. That's the way the game's going. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's where you go, fuck, you don't really have to make changes. I wouldn't, if I was coaching, like, just leave these guys on. If I feel like they're really, really like done.
Well, I reckon Madge cost you the player of the match. I reckon Payne stays on. Yeah. He powers through 40 easy.
Gets 250.
He could have got to 65, 70 straight. He would have finished 250 or whatever. He ended up finishing on 193. And he gets man of the match.
So you look at Payne, you would have seen him come off in game 1, fully exhausted.
Yeah.
Yowie,
fresh
fully exhausted. What was he like when he come off now?
Fresh.
Body language, like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one was coming off going, I'm fucked, like it was last time, right? Obviously, because of 12 plays and all that kind of stuff, I get it. But, like, it's a hard one, man. Maybe, like, at that level, because these players are so fit, you don't have to make, like, drastic changes just because you got them.
All
Spencer
right.
Leniu?
Yep.
outstanding.
He's made for Origin.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
He front loads. Fuck, he goes all out for his carries, but he does get fatigued as well. He's a guy you got to like almost just weather the storm for a bit and then find a way to get back at him straight away.
He's a guy that I'll probably use 2 interchanges on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Because those 10-minute spurts are going to be so good.
Yeah, they're more explosive than anyone on that field. And I'm
I agree.
maybe I could use 2 on him.
Yeah.
And then 1 for everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Well, we're going to see in the decider who's going to be there, more importantly for Queensland, but whether all the New South Wales players can hold on to
Would you make any changes for Queensland?
Yes.
What would you do?
Selwyn Cobbo, somewhere. Maybe even for Vel.
You reckon?
I want to chuck some X Factor back at Latrell.
And they go at it. Yeah. Selwyn and Trell go at it.
Yeah.
I think you need to make that decision.
Yeah.
Big decision.
Huge.
Because Val is like very fucking mainstay of that team for like, 6-7 years?
Yep.
That's fucking huge. Because I know Selwyn Cobbo will go at Trell.
Well, what did we say with GI? I asked GI at the Olympic Hotel.
Sorry, he played right centre, but...
That's fine.
Yeah.
He played right wing last year outside of Stags. He's sweet either way. And he plays fullback as well. So when you play fullback, you're able to play both sides easily.
Yeah, but he's a left arm carry all the time. So it's a different biomechanics. That's what I'm worried about. Like if he's going to try and shake him left or right, like Trell's a good defender, man.
Yeah.
He'll shut you down. Like Val like looked like he was getting on his outside. Boom, shut down.
So what about Cobbo left, Hammer on the right?
Yep.
To cancel him out.
Yeah, I'd do that because Hammer's like proper. He's fast as hell, right arm carry.
Fucked his shoulder though in that game too, Hammer. Come back on though, got it needled, come back on, padded up. You could see the right shoulder.
AC joint? Yeah, it looks
looked like it.
Looks like that.
So he won't play definitely for the Dolphins for the next couple of weeks. He might not play into Origin 3 if he does indeed play. So that would be my one change. Who else would I have? Who else wasn't available? Hopgood didn't play in this game. That's it. Yeah.
Not much, man.
I want Cobbo, but I want
You're probably
Cobbo on the
looking at
team.
that game, Queensland going, fuck it.
Yeah.
We're not that team.
And potentially...
Yeah. Are we
Fafita.
Is Queensland putting Fafita in?
I think so.
That's X Factor.
That's
right?
X Factor off the bench.
And he's done all these little things that Billy was questioning, the detail, the market defence. The last 2 games I've watched him, 3 games, he's been outstanding.
He's been doing all the tough stuff, hasn't he?
I'd potentially start him.
Off the bench. Leave him off the bench. Take the juice out of it. He likes coming off the bench. We've said this before. We think he might even ask to come off the bench sometimes.
Yeah. He's way more dangerous off the bench.
Yeah.
Because at the start, when you start games in Origin, everyone's all over you.
Maybe you.
But what do you do? What do you do? Because he's more dangerous on an edge.
You know what I'd do? I'd be sitting there. I'd start Nanai and Sewer, and as soon as they pick up a card for Spencer Leniu, I'd go get a card for Dave, and go. You just go play in the middle, and go as hard as you can, straight back at Spencer. So when Spencer front loads and uses all his energy in those carries, he tires out. Go straight back at him defensively.
I think Sewer can play in the middle.
Yeah, and that could go later on.
Yeah,
Maybe he starts in the middle and shifts out.
Then you put Fafita straight at that left edge.
Yeah.
Something like that. Need him. Because when you talk about X Factor, when we're talking about this game here, what we talk about? We talk about Latrell Mitchell. He's got that in buckets.
Yeah.
Different but in the forwards.
We'll see. We don't have to wait for a decider for too long. Tomorrow night, the women's got their State of Origin decider up in Townsville. Got a little bit of mail a few tips for you to watch out for. I did okay for the first couple of games. So I'm on a couple of options. If you're going to go in for a Queensland win, get on Tasman Rapana, $34 with the tab for player of or women of the match. And then for New South Wales, if they win, I'm on Olivia Koenig at $17. She's been arguably the second best player in both games. And if she wins the Karen Murphy medal, I think it is, for player of the series, I think she gets player of the match for this as well. So another little multi to look out for is Tamika Upton anytime, into Jamie Chapman anytime. That's $6.76 at the tab as well. So that is very juicy. Let's get into round 17, mate. Really quickly, we'll do a quick run over these. Bulldogs versus Sharks, Friday, 8 p.m. at a call. Blake Taft takes over at fullback from Connor Tracy after being a late withdrawal last week. Bronson Sherry is back on deck, so Drew Hutchison makes way. Skipper Stephen Crichton is in the amongst the reserves, while Jacob Preston is listed as 18th man as he looks to return from a foot injury. Sharks, just the one change to the side that got beaten by the Dolphins before the bye. Prop Tuku Hau Tapuhu added to the bench in place of Braden Hamlin Uale. Mate, so I'm going to give you my tips, and if you want to chuck anything on the back of it, let me know. I am on Bulldogs plus 4.5, and another famous, or the legacy of Stephen Crichton as skipper grows. Anytime try score $2.60, and he leads the way after a very big Origin win.
Man. It's going to be a hard game for us. Sharks are good.
Yep.
Probably, if you're looking at the tape of the Roosters game and you look at Hargraves, what he did in the first 25, 30 minutes, front door.
Yep.
Have a look what they got.
Sharks. Hazelton.
Man, they love that sort of stuff. They love that sort of stuff. I'm still going with the Bulldogs, but it's going to be hard.
Going to be very hard. All right, Warriors versus Broncos, Saturday, 3 p.m. at Go Media Stadium. No Shawnee Johnson, who's absolutely been hammered this week too with that post.
What the fuck are people doing that for?
Tamati Martin takes over for the number 7 jersey, and Chanel Harris-Davida comes in at 5'8". Dallin Watson as the Lesniak returns from suspension. New South Wales Blues 18th man, Mitchie Barnett. He could be one. Who could be thereabouts as well if they decide to change on Olaquatu. And Maroons bench play, Kurt Capewell have been named to play. Freddie Lussick has been added to the bench. As for the Broncos, Reece Walsh, Pat Carrigan and Payne Haas are amongst the reserves. Tristan Saylor is at fullback. Jesse Arthurs returns from a broken jaw. And Josiah Katapani goes to the bench. Jordan Ricky suspension sees Jack Krzyzewski joining the starting side, while Xavier Willison and Kobe Hetherington are in for Carrigan and Haas respectively. The new faces on the bench are Fletcher Baker and Martin Tupple. I think all of the Origin players play for Broncos. They need this. They're sitting in ninth at the moment, mate.
It's a tough carry for these guys that played Origin and then flying over to New Zealand. That is crazy.
That is a tough carry.
When they do these draws, do you not think of that?
They'll go straight there. They won't go back to Brisbane, you think? You reckon they would have packed all their kit and go straight to New Zealand?
What they're doing right now is going back. You're probably packing everything like that because you're probably doing what you said. Straight to New Zealand.
Yeah.
You're not going back to Brisbane. The flights and
if you were the Broncos, you would have told them to pack their kit, get ready and go straight to New Zealand. Yeah.
And I think every player is going to back up because they got beat tonight. They're pissed off. They're like, all right. And Broncos.
What about Payne? Payne got a good rest. Yeah. They need to for the Broncos anyway.
Understand this. Origin's great and that's the best thing, playing that. It's a pinnacle of the game, all that kind of stuff. But the Broncos you want to win competitions.
Yeah.
They need to win. Right now.
Yeah.
Otherwise everyone's going to start throwing some stones, man.
All right, the Broncos are sitting 7th.
Why are they I saw today, why are they doing that to Shawnee Johnson?
The Wise fans, the New Zealand fans are the best and the worst at the same time. And they know it. We had we had some Warriors fans that are at our Olympic and they love to talk shit. And I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks Sean obviously handled it really well, right? You screenshot them all and it finished with a really nice, sweet one at the back end too. Yeah. But it's part and parcel.
And for the amount of love that he does get, he gets a lot of love, right? But there's a lot of fuckwits as well.
Yeah.
They get real personal. I don't. You can say whatever you want. Don't get personal with him.
Yeah.
Don't get personal with players. These guys are human beings. Shaun Johnson's he's been an outstanding player. You know what I mean? Now he's just because the Warriors are going bad, what are you blaming him for? Have a look somewhere else. Have a look at that whole team.
There's a few others.
Don't just look at Shaun Johnson.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I'm on the Warriors. Plus 3.5 at home. Chance nickel clock stack, $2.50 anytime.
Yeah, I'm not confident after what I saw last week.
But you wouldn't be confident either, would
you?
I
saw the week before. I'm like, they're going to bounce back.
Yeah.
We're playing the Gold Coast. 66 points.
Warriors or Broncos?
Broncos.
Knights versus Eels, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. at McDonald Jones Stadium. Englishman Will Price will make his NRL debut.
Yes.
How good that?
Good on you.
We've been calling for that for a while. It's the
His
only
old man will be proud. Leon Price, one of the greats.
He follows our stuff. He's always I always see Leon commenting on. He comments a few times, but he likes a lot of our stuff. So congratulations to you and your family, Will. And then Kai Pearce returns from a toe injury. He's the only name on the bench. But apart from that, the same side that took on the Panthers. As for the Eels, Mitch Moses has been named to back up. and he will play. I just know off the back of that performance, he'll be pumped to get back there for the Eels.
He's missed a lot of footy, so he's going to play.
Mike Acevo's return from hamstring. They're coming last too, by the way, the Eels. How crazy is that? Someone wrote, I don't know if you see, have we talked about this? Only the Eels can go...
have the bye.
Have the bye and go backwards. Sean Russell moves to the centres for Micah. Micah's return. Kelma Tuolangi suspended, so Bryce Cartwright starts with Matt Dury joining the bench.
Dury.
And
Dury's still around.
Dury's still around.
Shit.
He's going all right. And shout out to Matty Arthur, a.k.a. the Buds. He's been named to make his debut off the bench. Young hooker. Brad Arthur's second youngest son. Lukey asked us a question, will BA be at the game? Of course he's going to fucking be at the game.
Next to Baz.
Well, you think he's just because he's actually not going to go support his son play
TV,
first
just
grade?
watch it on KO, 4K.
So what a proud moment. I know what it's like for to play first grade with your dad playing first grade. Now Brad's had the opportunity for two sons to play first grade. It's a cool thing for him and his family. Despite all that, I forgot who I was going. Eels plus 1.5, $1.90. They didn't have any time try scorers up early today. I'll see if I can get it up now and have a look at it and pick one for you on the run. And they've got them. I am going to go the man of the moment, Mitch Moses, $3.75.
This game's always tricky because it's always got this history with the 2001 grand final. And you know that you play for Parramatta, I play for Newcastle, and it's spoken the whole week. So Newcastle, McDonald's Jones Stadium. I think Newcastle will pump them.
I think the opposite. I think Para are going to pump them. There we go.
Yeah.
It's a 13-plus-a-thon?
No. It could be what you're saying. Parramatta 13 plus.
Oh, did you? I thought you said Knights were going to pump
I did, but I'm like... I just think Moses is on like a bit of a... Now I think of it, I'm like, fuck.
What's the time? It's nearly midnight. We're getting a little bit tired, so maybe I flipped you just because you're getting tired.
All right, 13 plus Para. Come on.
All right, let's go. What do we got? Dragons versus Dolphins, Sunday, 2 p.m. at Estrada Jubilee Stadium. Did I miss a game? No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Storm versus Raiders, Saturday, 7:35 p.m. at Amy Park. Xavier Coates and Harry Gann have been named to back up. Jack Howarth moves from the wing to centre to replace Nick Meaney, who picked up a calf injury. Bronson Garlick goes to the bench for Harry Grant. Centre Remus Smith has been named 18th man as he looks to return. I heard Pappy is in doubt for this as well today. Saul Falongo is amongst the reserves. As for the Raiders, Tom Starling's back, Zach Wolford out, and the beautiful-looking human Jordan Martin will make his NRL debut at the ripe age of 24 years old.
Good on him.
Best mullet of all time. He looks like an overweight Joe Dirt. Winger Nick Kotrick is out, therefore Albert Hopewadi is in.
Melbourne's going to be hard to beat.
What are you laughing at?
Raiders.
You've been laughing.
Raiders,
are you watching a video or something on there? P's and D's. Oh.
If he was,
Lukey's on the P's and D's too, by the way. He's pissing him. He's been laughing the whole time.
So if the Raiders lose this one, that's 3 in a row, I think.
Yep.
It's going to be hard, man, because they're going to lose 3 in a row. Because Melbourne's going to be on.
15.5 head start.
I don't understand what that means.
Do you think the
Melbourne will beat them by 15?
15.5. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, same.
No.
Raiders 15.5 for me.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think Melbourne's class will get them over the top, but give me Raiders plus 15.5.
Pappy's not playing.
Yeah.
X factor.
And Jordan Rapiner, $3.25 anytime. That's not confirmed with Pappy. As for the Dolphins, they are playing against the Dragons at Estrada Jubilee on Sunday. Like I said, Moses Sully returns to the centres, bumps out Christian Tuipulotu. There could be another change with Jack Bird amongst the reserves as he works back from that knee injury. Maroons reps, Ben Hunt, Jaden Sewer, and Blues winger Zach Lomax are all named in the run-on sides. As for the Dolphins, Hamaso, he will not play. I can't see him playing.
No way.
With veteran forward Felice Kafusi also on the bench. Tessie New comes in on the wing. So we're probably going to see Trey Fuller. Tavita Pangai, again, is on the bench. I've gone the Dolphins. This is before Origin. I'm changing that pick. I'm going the Dragons off the back of the Hamaso news. That's how important it is. Estrada at Cogra.
Yeah. Dragons.
Yeah, I'm on the Dragons. So therefore, I've got to change my anytime try scorer. I'll get to that a little bit later on, but I'm not taking Averillo. Oh, actually, I'll just stick with that Averillo. I think he's still going to score, but I'll take the Dragons plus 1.5. Is that what they are now? Let me double check. Dragons. They've taken it down. Look at that. No market because of Hammer. All right, the last two are the Cowboys. They are playing against the Panthers Sunday, 4 p.m. at Bluebet. Hooker Mitch Kenny and Jack Cole both return. That means Summerton and Schneider go back to reserves. Matt Eisenhuth replaces Trent Talau on the bench. And all of Ivan Cleary's state reps have been named to back up for now. As for the Cowboys, Todd Payton has named 5 of his 6 Origin stars. Who's the one he hasn't named? Jeremiah Nanai was going to get a rest regardless. So that's big off the back of the effort that he put in as well in this game. Kuli Kefu Fuiaki, he joins the starting side. Prop Jordan McLean is set to return with Jake Clifford called in to partner Chad Townsend in the half. So Mattis Clifford. But I reckon Tommy Dearden plays for sure.
Yeah, I think every Queensland's going to play.
I'm on Cowboys
Panthers?
plus 10.5, and I'm on Drinkwater
you're-
$3.10.
If you're Ivan Cleary, are you resting some of your players? Knowing that you're going to have a big push. You know what I mean? Like the Liam Martins, the Isaac
Liam Martin,
they've
yes.
been playing some big... So just because Yowie comes off the bench,
Yeah.
it's not like he's not playing big
Liam
minutes.
Martin,
He's
yes.
playing 60
Yo,
minutes
yes.
in the middle.
To'o, yes.
Yeah, because I think they can beat the Queensland. They can beat North Queensland.
Dylan Edwards, I'll play Dylan. I have to play Dylan, and I play
But
Jerome.
I think the great thing out there is like, do you want to play? I think they're going to get that question.
Yeah.
And they're all going to say yes, which is fun.
Nah, actually, I don't think
Right?
that.
Or
No.
maybe because I think Cleary's like obviously got a great relationship with them.
Yeah.
You're not playing.
Yeah,
Because you've got
I
to
think
take it
so.
out of their hands.
Yeah.
Take it out of their hands. Because especially like your big boys there.
They're going to go.
Liam Martin's.
They could go down as arguably the greatest team of all time if they win 4 in a row, and it's how he manages this next couple of weeks will determine that.
Because Liam Martin looks like he's hanging on by a string or a ligament. Do you know what I mean? Like he feels like he's playing like an absolute dog.
Yeah.
Like proper.
Turf toe is
It's like nearly a Liz Frank.
yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of
it's
not
just
the-
constant.
If you tear your Liz Frank, that's like a Liz Frank, but like turf toe is like a grade 1 or grade 2.
The Roosters take on the West Tigers Sunday 6:15 p.m. at Allianz Stadium. Satili Tupanua is the man to fill the void of centre Junior Paunga. That's not going to happen.
What?
Satili will play back row. Angus Crichton will go to the centres. Watch for that. With Lindsay Collins set to come off the bench, Blues rep Angus Crichton and Connor Watson were named to start, while Spencer Leniu is on the interchange. David Clemmer is back from suspension on the bench with John Bateman and Justin Olin, both in the reserves, so they'll probably play. Luke Laualili keeps a spot on the wing after his try-scoring debut, with Adam Dewey retaining his spot in the centres. Mace, pardon me, I've got a couple of underdogs as well to finish off the round. I think this is where you take the points in games like this, where you've got teams coming back, nursing some guys, trying to get them back to full health. I've got Tigers plus 13.5 to go. Keep it close against the Roosters team. I don't think they're going to beat them. I think the Roosters will blow them out, maybe a try or two right at the end and get away with it. But give me Dream Buller anytime, $2.90 after what Greg Inglis said about him.
Fuck.
The other
Yeah,
night.
Greggy got massive raps on Dream Buller. So he should. They should have a lot more class than the Tigers, even though the Tigers were outstanding last week. I just don't think they can replicate that. They've got a lot of young kids that don't really understand the whole roller coaster. Roosters, easy.
All right, that was the review, mate. It's midnight. Let's go get some sleep. Pardon? Oh, yeah. Remember, what are you really gambling with? And if you need free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858. Mace, we got it done. We're going to dissect it more on Monday again, and we'll enjoy the weekend and get back to Sydney. Let's do it.
All right.